Hey everyone, Anthony DiGiovanni with SacredU Philosophy here again with another video. Today guys, we're talking about the cave, the dark moment, the belly of the beast, the belly of the whale. If you're in your life right now, you feel like you're stuck, you feel like you're alone, you don't know where you're going, you have no idea what to do next, it's probably because you're in the cave. And I'm excited and fired up because I know what that feels like personally, and I think I know how to get you out of there. So, if you guys are ready, let's talk about it. Okay guys, we're talking about myth, we're talking about mythology, we're talking about the hero's journey. For people that haven't been keeping up, listen up. I need to recap what even is myth and what the heck I'm even talking about. You might be new to the page, you might be new to the video, so let me tell you what that is about. For people that have been keeping up, go ahead and skip ahead a few seconds, all right? Because that's where I'll pick up what I'm talking about today. First, guys, myth does not mean fake. I can't hammer that home enough. Literally there's two ways to look at the world. There's the viewpoint of the world of facts and the viewpoint of the world of action. And predominantly the world of facts viewpoint has been dominated by science and like objective information. It's all facts. And the world of, or the world viewpoint of the world of action has been dominated by literature and stories and myth. So, why I bring that up is because myth doesn't mean fake. It means from the Greek word mysterion, it literally means to see without eyes, or i.e. faith. And to our ancestors, they knew that we learned, and this is something that's been proven psychologically, we imitate and we act out knowledge before we can ever verbalize it. And so our ancestors looking around were like, okay, we've been acting out life, we've been acting out how to live life correctly, and we can, because of that, imagine the ideal human path. But how do we verbalize that? And how do we verbalize it in a way that's going to stick to the people to come? And they found that's their solution in myth, in the stories of myth making. So it wasn't just stories for entertainment. These were literally the information passed down by ancestors on how to act, on how to approach life. And you have to look at them metaphorically and abstract out that information. So it's hard, and I get it why sometimes they look weird to us. But it's there, and it's helpful, and these are things that we can't just throw out, right? Because these are part of the world viewpoint of the world of action, and I think they help answer the questions of meaning and value and purpose in our lives, which are questions I think a lot of people are asking. So anyway, getting back to the topic at hand today, people that have been keeping up with me, skip to this part right here, talking about the cave, the dark moment. So look, in every hero's journey, there's a moment where all hope is lost. And it's the down point. We've gone through the road of trials, and sometimes you literally think the hero dies. Sometimes the hero does die. They're either gone, and like his allies or whoever's left has to go on without him, and all hope is lost. And sometimes for the hero doesn't have to die, but is like literally like put in prison or imprisoned away in a cave. There's tons of examples of that. The cave of Adullam is what I call it, because that's what King David in the Old Testament was put inside of when he was on the run from Saul. The king was hunting him down. He had to go hide in a cave, and he was alone, and then slowly over time built an army of bandits that found him and they made him a leader, and then he was able to run away. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself, but the cave is a very special moment to me. I think that it should be a special moment to you, especially right now if you're watching this and you feel like you're in the cave, you feel like you're separated from friends and family or whatever, or you're so far away from the goals you want, the dream career you want. You feel like you have no idea where you want to go. You feel like you don't know the meaning or purpose or value in life. You're just in a dark moment. It's okay. Like this happens to everybody. And it happens psychologically, it happens physically, it happens spiritually and emotionally. And I promise you're going to get out. And you can get out. Like there's no, maybe you're deep down into the cave. It's okay. You can find the light again. And just know that's a necessary part of the hero's journey. It's a part that happens in every hero's journey, okay? Okay, so for some examples, I can throw off, I think, a couple really quickly. One being Harry Potter. I know I've gone to that book a lot, but that series a lot, but there's something about that series when its author is far more wealthier than the Queen of England. You have to kind of look at it and give it attention. And in the last movie, the last book, Harry literally dies, but what dies in him is the piece of Voldemort. He was, unbeknownst to him, made the last Horcrux, and so he literally killed the evil inside of him, but also killed himself, but came back. So, but anyway, I don't know if you guys remember the movie, Hagrid's carrying him and Voldemort thinks he's won. It's like a really, really low moment and you're like, crap, and all hope is lost, right? So usually you can find the cave moment by those terms, that all hope is lost, or it seems as such. That's a good example. Another one is in The Matrix, one of my favorite movies. It's a very small cave moment, but it's when Neo gets shot at the end. Spoiler alert, sorry, but he opens the door and the agent's there at the very, very end and boom, just unloads a whole clip inside of him and then walks away and he's dead and then he comes back to life. But in that small moment, all hope is lost. Another more biblical one, again, you don't have to be religious for this to even pertain to you, and I kind of mentioned it the first part of this video, but King David, he's a famous biblical character. He's on the run and he has to go hide in this cave. It's called the Cave of Adullam, and I think he's in there for quite some time. I want to say 7 years, but I don't know why I'm saying that, and that might not be accurate, but I know he's in there for a long time, and at first he's alone, and it's over time, these bandits start slowly coming to hide in there too, and he kind of starts forming this army of loyal men, and he has like this bodyguard like ring of bad dudes that are loyal to him because they see the goodness in him. And the cave actually, when David kind of thinks he's forsaken and on the run and at his lowest moment, ends up kind of being his bounce back moment. It ends up kind of being the moment where he gets to show that he's holding himself to a higher ideal, because later his enemy, the person chasing him, comes in there unbeknownst to him, unknowing that David's hiding in there and is peeing, and David has a chance to kill him, stab him right there. It's just the King Saul, and instead he just cuts off a piece of his cape and then later shows it to him, and it's like, dude, I could have killed you, and I didn't, because this is stupid. So it's a chance for him to show, hey, I hold myself to a higher standard, and this fighting is stupid. So those are some quick examples, guys, of the cave moment, the belly of the beast. All right, so I try to make all my videos practical, especially for people that are going through some things right now, because we're all going through some things, and if you're not now, you're going to eventually. Look, I've been in the cave. I've without going into too much personal detail, like I've been in those moments where I've been kind of externally, forces that I can't control push me to a place of isolation, push me to a place of loneliness, and push me to a place of, I guess, I don't know, like they kind of box you into a corner. And maybe you feel like that, especially if you're trapped at home, if you're far away from friends and family, wherever you are, whatever you have. What I want to tell you guys is if you're being pushed into the cave, it's probably because there's some things you need to look inwardly at and fight with and battle with and strengthen. You have to, before you can go out and be the hero of anything, of your life, the lives around you, or just the world, you have to face the demons inside. And that's tough, and that's scary, and I understand why a lot of people don't want to. But if you don't do that willingly, life will find a way to push you to a place where you're going to have to. And that's usually harder to do. It's if you do it unwillingly, is what I'm getting at. So I want to try and implore you, to encourage you to be forthright and try to, approach the evil inside you, approach the things inside you that you know you need to change, approach the things inside of you that you know you need to overcome now, willingly, while you have the power over them, and then you'll be ready for the chaos that's going to come, or the road of trials, whatever have you, whatever problems that will come into your life. The cave moment is, I know it's dark, I know it's deep, the belly of the beast. You guys might not understand why I'm saying that. A lot of fairy tales like Jonah and the whale, Pinocchio, they have to go inside of a beast, the belly of the beast. It's like the darkest moment. Okay, what I'm getting at is or the moment where all hope is lost. If you're there, if you're hopeless, you feel like there's no purpose, you feel like there's no meaning, you can get out, but it's going to take some inward exploring and some inward strengthening, and you're going to have to look inward. And I would encourage you to strengthen your relationship with whatever higher ideal you have, whether that's God or the universe or whatever standard. Strengthen the relationship you have with the ideal you of the future. And if you don't have those things, if you haven't envisioned what those things look like, a higher ideal or a higher version of yourself that you're trying to strive for, you need to probably work those out. And that's why you're in the cave. You need to have some type of picture, image of your ideal future in the next 5 years, 7 years, whatever, or your ideal you, who you could become. McConaughey gave that famous Oscar speech, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, where he said, he's constantly always chasing him 10 years from now. And that's what I'm getting at, is like you have to form, but you have to have that formed. And so sometimes when you're put in the cave, you feel like you're hopeless, you don't know where to go. It's because you haven't even sat down to meditate or think on where you're wanting to go. So you're your own worst enemy in that sense. And so you can start to pull at the threads of issues when you're in the cave, right? Like I said, life will sometimes find a way to force you to slow down, force you to stop talking to people, force you to cut off these relationships that you don't need, and then in hopes that you'll work inwardly and then be able to bounce out of that cave and be ready to go. Because I promise you the cave's not gonna last forever, and you will be able to bounce back, and you can get out. Especially if you adopt this idea that you, as a conscious, living, breathing human being, have value inherently for those reasons, and as a human being, in a conscious human being, you have the power to transcend from the known world into the unknown, into the chaotic, face it consciously, and bring order out of it, and bring value out of it back to the known world. That's the hero's journey, and that's what I'm trying to get you guys to do. All right, guys, I know there was a lot thrown at you. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you watching every video that you do and watching for this long. I appreciate it. If you guys could like, comment, and share below, please do. And please share it with somebody that you think might need it. Or save the video, put it in a playlist, because I promise you, if you're not facing issues right now, you're going to in the future. Right? That's just a given. That's just a given of life. Life is suffering, and it's about what we do with that suffering, how we transcend it, and how we move above it. That makes us who we are, makes us the hero that we can become. So, there's that. And if you guys have not, go ahead and subscribe to my page, hit the bell, because I'm uploading videos every Monday, and sometimes on Wednesdays too, during the middle week, if I feel like it. But always Mondays, and we can keep talking. All right, keep talking about this, the hero's journey, and how best to interpret and face the life that we have been given, and yeah, survive the best we can. All right, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you soon.